Hello, yard wubbers. A quick update here on the backyard. So we were gone for 4 or 5 days, and a very hot and humid front has come in. And let me show you what it's brought. So first of all, things aren't looking too bad in terms of the growth aspect. These are the newest areas. Here, this is my second round of killing. And there's also a lot of new growth here. Here is new sod underneath the tires. Basically underneath all the swings is new sod. And then this is new ryegrass, which in here has come in pretty well. But let's check out the old ryegrass, or the old new ryegrass. Areas like, here we go. Here's an area. I can tell because I've got POA that's also resurged. And then this is teenager grass. It's not quite mature, but what's going on is I now have Turfgrass Rust. Turfgrass Rust is a fungus. Ooh, I just saw a really good blade. There we go. Yeah, you can see that pretty well actually. So you can see where the rust name comes from. It starts off as kind of, let me get it in the palm of my hand so it will focus better. Whew, that sun is hot. I don't know if you can tell how hot it is and humid. It's 84% humidity. It's ridiculous. I should ask what, actually, hey Google, what's the dew point? It's not going to answer. Anyway, so yeah, this kind of starts, this is a affliction that kind of starts at the top of the leaf from what I've read, leaf blade, which is helpful because if you do frequent appropriately light mowings, you tend to like cut this off. And then it kind of makes a yellowish discoloration, and then when the fungus comes out, it becomes like this rusty, powdery appearance. Let's see, here's one that's kind of on its way to death. There's a good one. At least that's what I think it is. Oh, here we go. Here's one in the wild. Let's see if I can... it's really hard to isolate it. Alright, let me get it in my hand. There, yeah. Rusty crusty. So it's always one thing, and you can see it's really hitting the ryegrass, the new ryegrass, a lot more than whatever this mutt mix of old grass that I have. And maybe, actually, no, I take that back. It is actually affecting this quite significantly. And maybe that's why I have always noticed that my grass in the summer looks kind of yellowish. I know I have a mix here. I have fine fescue, and I know that drops out at certain times, and then when it comes back, like the grass looks a lot greener. So there's always something growing, but there's always something dying. And then when you have a monostand, like just a single grass type of ryegrass, when it gets hit at the same effect, and it can, you know, there's nothing behind that to like grow and be like, hey, we're resistant to this stuff, we'll grow while you guys take a break. That's just not going on. So yeah, I don't even know if I need to spray something for it. I don't know what to do about it. Here's a really brown area. Not all of this looks like fungus, but some of the green leaves, like right where my middle finger is, do have some blotchiness. This is a little bit, I don't know, might be kind of thatchy down there. Yeah. Hey Google, what's the dew point today?
Today in Grand Rapids, the dew point should hit a high of 78 and a low of 70.
High of 78, that is insane. So dew point, my understanding of the dew point is the temperature at which water starts, you start to get condensation, it starts condensing. If there's very little moisture in the air, you have to lower that temperature way down to get that water to start condensing out. If there's huge amounts of water in the air, it's just like coming out of the air in drops, like even when it's still warm. So that's why when the dew point number is high, there's a lot of water in the air, very humid. When it's low, it's drier. So, and a high dew point means you have a high risk of fungus, which I now have, or probably have always had. And that's also a good time to, well, we've also had rain and the ground is all wet. I had my sprinklers, that's what I was going to say, that is the time to moderate your water, especially. Definitely don't want to be watering every day. I had mine going every other day because I had the new grass and some new sod over there, and I didn't want that stuff to suffer, so I erred on the side of moisture. But it just so happened that we've had one of the most humid fronts come in while we were gone and while that was happening. So sprinklers are off now, but I probably don't need to water for days. We're also supposed to get a little bit of rain. We actually got a lot of rain this month, probably a couple inches. So unlike the dry spring that we had. So anyway, high dew point, and especially if you have really tall grass, you know, above 3 inches of some sort, the area in the grass is going to stay moist, which is kind of an advantage of having tall grass, as it doesn't dry out so fast, but also it can stimulate fungus. But my grass is not too long, and it's fungicizing. So there's no guarantees here. So I mean, I'm sure I've had this in other years. It's been this humid before. By the time the fungus comes out, I mean, the damage is done. I guess it could prevent it from getting worse, but today is supposed to be, well, I should say tomorrow and the next couple days should be very different. It's going to be a lot cooler, like 15 degrees cooler, and down to the low 60s, high 50s at night. So that is a completely different environment, and I'm hoping that will kind of just switch things all around for the grass, and this hot, sweaty spell will be over.